Hey Nicolas, let's do our longest product presentation ever with you. And we put all our products on the table, not all, but let's say a short overview of the products. And I think for sure you're interested in the embedded, or your viewers are mainly the embedded ones. A nice example, you can count below 10 seconds, for example, we did for a customer where on our embedded device the picture comes and it directly boots into a web page. And so this is where we are focusing on industrial solutions which we completely customize. So on all the software we deliver normally it with a Linux kernel, on the embedded ones with an embedded Linux kernel, and you can have our full source code, and we put it also on our web page. So we perfectly customize. And what we do is that we do 7-inch until now 27-inch touchscreen devices, that's what we say. And we always go with, let me have a seat, we always go with that we say we have a patented rubber frame. And so it's very easy. You can install it in a machine from the front, and it's waterproof, or you can install it from the back and it's waterproof. And that's more or less the product specification on which you can directly see it's a faytech product, so because the rubber protects it.
Sealing.
Right, it's sealing. And so it's a nice freestanding. We used it a lot in buses, for example, because when you hit it doesn't hurt so much. But the main purpose is that you have a sealing. And that's, for example, our standard connection. You have the power. You have the USB for the touch, and then HDMI, DVI, VGA, and audio for the connection. And this is a total standard touchscreen monitor, again freestanding with a stand, or perfect for integration. And this we have as a full series. So we have a touchscreen monitor, that's our entrance. We have then our touchscreen PC. We go with let's call it also embedded PC solution, but embedded that way that it's slow. It's a Celeron processor, Intel, an N4200 as a standard. And again, we have our connectors for sure. We do industrial, so it's important. They are locked, so they are total stable. You cannot get it off. We have a double LAN, which is for sure important when you have an inside and outside network, standard for USBs. With USB 3.0 and USB 2.0. We have a full COM1 port. This is for sure for industrial devices quite important. And we have the HDMI and the display port. Very interesting, we have behind this port a PCI Express, so you can connect very easy external cards. That's for industrial applications, interesting. And then we have on the other side really all connectors you can dream of, I want to say. Like another full serial port connector, DB9. We have two small serial ports, 4 and 5, where you can switch between RS232 or RS485, still important for machine usage. And behind this connector we have a 2.5-inch SSD slot. So you can easily exchange your SSDs. So it's from our point of view, a nice ruggedized design. No moving parts, that's important. You can check on our company videos how strong vibration they survive. We test also all under -10 to 60 degrees. We have even products which we test from -20 to +70.
So in the other video, you mentioned the fast food chains, for example. Can you mention some of the other markets that are using these?
We are, with our touch PCs, our main market is Germany, or the European Union. And there our main market is really like Industry 4.0. So you put it in the machine, so you steer machines with it. We have a lot of European customers who really integrate it in their CNC machines, their cutting machines, stamping machines. We have some projects we show also on our webpage, even fitness machines. And the other ones is that you use it really to have your production process more efficient, that you have on every working space a touch PC, and you scan and put things fastly in, and so have a more seamless production. And again, there we have it as a monitor, we have it as a PC, we have it as an embedded device. Let's wait. let's take where we have our embedded devices. It seems like just this one. No, we have too many products on the table, and the people here. I'm blind. Yeah. And the people put it away. So we have our embedded device also here, like the as a standard, an Allwinner V40. So now for sure your viewers will say, oh my god, so old. But again, for a machine workflow optimization, or to show a workflow and do some touches, that's absolutely no problems. And again, what's our specialty is that we can provide a full Linux kernel, which boots even in 10 seconds, or an Android kernel, which we completely compile. And also there we have the GPIO ports, which is important, directly accessible. We have the SIM cards, easy accessible. So we have a serial port, so we have, let's say, more the industrial solutions you want. We have extra no battery. That is a big problem on 24/7 systems, that the tablet batteries go all defect. And so again, here it's also a ruggedized unit which runs perfectly in machines.
Less power consumption also because if you have it running all the time, it could be an issue.
So all has also internal mini PCI Express, so you can add whatever 4G cards, additional cards, M2 SATA. What is now a really highlight is what we now just introduced. That's our i5, i7 series. And again, it has the same connectors. That's our market advantage, that all products, they have always the same connectors, always the same things. And this is an i3, i5, i7 model. Here the i5 7300U. And we are really proud of it. Also, this runs fully up to 60 degrees operation temperature. We used a very special heat pipe solution inside, that it can run really under full throttle, all 4 cores. You never go above 70 degrees core temperature, and this really took us some time. What is also very special about these models, I hope you see it through the camera, is that our picture quality is better than what you should see from the competitors. That's because all our products are optical bonded. So we have just a 1.1 millimeter cover glass, which is on a glass sensor. We all produce in-house. Check our other videos to see how it is done. And because of this optical bonding, they survive IK08. So you can see a steel ball from 1 meter. You can fall it down and it survives. So it's really ruggedized. And the picture quality is good, especially when you look from the side. It's like it's floating. The picture is floating, and that's what makes our products unique. And this helped us growing quite strongly the last years. Hopefully, some of your viewers get attracted and check also. There are still a lot of white spots where are no faytech products sold. So I welcome everybody to check us out. We provide good quality, and more important, a good service and a good price.
And for example, let's say some target markets for this one, for example. What do you imagine?
So the 27-inch is more like, there we are leaving already slowly the industrial world. The 27-inch, for example, is nice for kiosks or Wayfinder. There is a very big market, or for sure larger overviews of workflow processes. This one, for example, the smaller sizes that we see in even operation centers. We have one unit which is medical certified, and we have a daughter model surrounding in buses. So it's really, you can use it wherever you want to have a ruggedized unit, no moving parts, which survives also a strong hit. You can use the devices.
And also smaller, like let's say startups or companies with new ideas can approach you and do all kinds of cool stuff, right? Like if people have ideas for stuff like this or stuff like that, you made this happen, right?
Right. This one, you know it. We
Yeah.
just had a talk about it, that you saw one in Seattle, you told me.
Yeah.
And it's a Butterfly MX unit. We made a shoot also in New York, just when they started, 2015 or 2016. They grew now to 80 people and making millions of dollars. And I hope one good reason is because we are the exclusive supplier and provide them a good, reliable solution. But it's right, we started with one sample and designed it for them following their expectations, and that's what we do, that we have a standard product portfolio and that we are really good in doing customizations following your needs.
So everybody who has cool ideas should approach you and say, hey, is it possible we do something new?
Sure, it's that's how everything started and came out. You saw also the shopping cart, it's for sure.
I love the shopping cart. It looks so cool.
There was one company who had the idea, and we said, okay, we believe in it and let's go and do it. And so a complete shopping cart comes out at the end, right?
So in the other video you were mentioning it a little bit also. Maybe you can grab the chair again.
Sure.
Right over here. You were mentioning the time to market, the time to engineer new solutions, or do you mostly focus on bringing like a standard thing that people do, just run software on them?
Theoretically, our dream partner is the one who won a project and has software expertise and has no hardware knowledge or doesn't want to be part of the hardware. Again, for example, the shopping cart. Our partner is a software company and they had a lot of hardware problems, and then the scanner partner said, oh, my scanner runs well, and the battery company which designed the battery charger said, oh, my charger runs well, but at the end it didn't run well, and so we said, okay, come on, stop it, we overtake full responsibility, we do it right, and then we are responsible for that the hardware runs and you just focus on your software. And like this, I think we do also for Butterfly Mix exactly the same. Like this, projects run really well and successful. A typical timeline, you should still have 12 weeks when you work with us. Probably some other Chinese are faster, but for sure we start with doing the right specification, then you need a good design. We have a review, we start with the first prototype, this all really takes time. And building up the first prototype, definitely we should have something like 5 to 6 weeks. You should make a review, you should make a first sample production, again 4, 5, 6 weeks. So again, 12 weeks are fastly done, but I think it's worth it when you have a good idea, right?
And so your new product range is got lots of more performance. What people are going to be using this performance for?
It's it's very funny. You know, theoretically, you know it. We believe also in that the mobile theoretically have enough power. We discussed a lot about it. You know, our faytech flat, which copies a mobile phone, or where you can then even work with it with a desktop. So basically, I believe strongly in that you don't need so much power. On the other side, you know, software guys, I don't want to blame anybody, but they are also very strong in programming fastly and not too performance efficient. And it's really like that there are some big companies who really need an i7 or specify an i7, where basically I think totally an embedded solution would run. But I don't judge on the software guys. We follow the specification. I know, for example, that our first customer, he is right now in the video. Schwerin from Meso, he's our first i5 customer. And you see what he's doing. This is really our device in an operation center. It's certified to be used in operations, and they use the process performance for getting the images worked and get out of the operation center. This is an example for sure. Others have some machines where they do also then 3D calculations or some special cutting calculation. When you don't put the performance on the server, then you should have more performance on a processor. And I have to say I'm really excited. Our new i3, i5, i7 series, it's following our knowledge, 70% revenue of the market is done with solutions like this. So I'm really now curious when we introduce this performance solution, how it will work.
And how old is your company now? And are some of your old customers, their devices still in use?
I was last year in Germany, and I had one customer. He said, "Total crazy, Mr. Weber. We have now products from you which we listed 9 years ago, and it's really, we have our first resistive touchscreen monitor series. Still, some customers use." And we put it 2010 in their shop and offer. So I mean, that's important for industrial customers that we do long term. And we opened the factory here in Shenzhen 2010, so now 9 years ago. So for 9 years we produce here, and with quite some good success. So we grew from there steadily.
How long do you provide the warranty on these, or is it customizable? If people want to say they want it to work for minimum 5 years, or let's say I want a project 10 years, can they talk to you?
We have, that's missing, we have an open frame series where we use 100,000 hours LEDs, and so you really can use it for more than 10 years. We give a standard 2 years guarantee following the European standards, and do this globally for all our products. But for example, for Butterfly, we agreed on 3 and support for 5 years. On the shopping cart, they for sure insisted on a 5-year support. So yes, it depends on the project. We just need to check carefully. Also on NEC project, we even did 7 years for a bus installation. We just should discuss it at the beginning and then double check that all the parts are perfectly fitting for that.
And then maybe in the value chain or in the system, you have what's called support for the few defective units that might appear, so you can kind of repair them without bringing them all the way back to China.
It's so on good quantity projects, we are running on below 0.5%. What is really important from when you check on, let's say, 10 defects which arrive at our service center, 7 are just usage faults, like the user didn't use it right or connected it wrong, and 3 are really defects. And from the 3, again, it's half-half. Half were by vandalism or wrong usage, and half really were just product defects. So what I want to say is, when you have a project, it's totally important to really discuss openly and analyze everything well. Because you have most of the faults coming by wrong usage. And when you check this together, then you can make a project successfully. One nice example, just shortly, we had an Indian bus project, and we made the project IP65, even that it was in buses, and I didn't understand why anyhow. But we had 100% defect rate, and all had water in, and I said, that's impossible. No, impossible. And so I went personally to India, and everything looked nice, and I didn't understand why they have water in. But I stayed full 24 hours with the bus, and in the night, the cleaning guys cleaned the whole bus with over 20 bars water streams, and this IP65 specification is something like 2 to 3 bars, so 10 times over specification. And that's the point. You really need to know when there's a problem coming. Believe me, it's normally not because of the hardware, but it's because of something strange happening, and that you have to find out.
Nice. So, I mean, this is impressive products, and people can just buy them, like they just do a phone call and say, I want to buy, or did you even click on your website? How does it work?
We have our main market is still European and mainly Germany, and there we have a business-to-business shop. We have also, let's say, local service in Germany, in the US, in China, in Japan, and in India. So we are operating now on almost all countries, and there you can always buy it directly from faytech. But we basically, when we say directly, we don't focus on the end customer, but for sure we focus on industrial customers and system integrators. So we don't have the typical direct to end customer. We try it with the faytech flat, where we go more into the market. probably this one is also a last nice thing what I want to show. Basically all our products, we can disconnect it even now. All our products have the pen support, and you can use the faytech flat, I think very nice, as a second monitor. So you just connect the power to the USB-C, and then I think it's perfectly for people who for example wants to write still by pen. I have to say I do it. I can say whatever. Thank you for watching, and for sure I did it with OneNote, and I have a lot of notes now. What is really nice, it has an automatic recognition that that you don't make touches with your thumb. Anyhow, so you can perfectly use it with your fingers, right, and still write it with a pen.
Something special about the touch screen layer or something?
I mean, for sure, the touch is one of our main focus points and strong points. So we really take care about that the pen works well, that the touch works well. We are really good where we tuned in water usage. We have also videos where you can use really with thick gloves the touches, but this is again then something you can customize. Yeah.
And then there's a big one right here. And how big do you get? How big is this one?
This one is 75 inch. We go up to 86 inch, but this is now just the whiteboard. We have it staying here because we invented a mass product process for optical bonding. So the largest whiteboard manufacturer in the world uses our bonding technology, and we used under the logo Pure Bond 100 tons of glue just this year, filling up. Oh, that's now perfectly fitting, filling up the small gap between touch panel and panel. And that makes us also quite strong and unique in that industry.
No gap.
No gap. No air gap. So the air gap is filled up by see-through glue. This makes all the products very strong. And again, less reflection than on competitors. And we survive IK08 on all our products, even with just a 1.1 millimeter cover glass.
So the display industry is really cool industry to be part of, and you're doing a crucial part of that. You're taking the displays and putting the touch and making it industrial, rainproof, all that stuff. It's
right.
A lot of an important partner for the display makers, right?
For sure. Luckily now everybody wants to have a touch everywhere, right? It's children don't use a newspaper anymore, but they touch, and you go on self-kiosks, you want to touch. On machines you want to touch, you don't want to have any more buttons, even in cars now. So for sure we are profiting strongly from the touch trend, and there we have a good setup that we have here in China, our production, and provide then in all continents a good local service. When you are fast, too slow.
Yeah.
Too slow. But we have we have now 2 factories in Suining. Okay, basically we didn't want to make any more the company presentation, but when we go back, so these are our two factories now in Suining, where we manufacture. So we have for assembly in China now more than 300 people. Globally we are now 400, and so we grow out of Shenzhen to a second place in the European American Industrial Park in Suining. I hope we can make another shoot there, probably next time.
That'd be cool. So things can scale very quickly. This business can go from small quantities, which is still awesome, but can also go to very big, and you're ready for any potential.
It's really, the larger the quantity goes, the easier it is, because then you can perfectly optimize every process. You for sure invest more time in checking, because the time you invest is always the same, right? And so we have now productions. Our typical production lot is 500 to 500 pieces, 50 to 500 pieces. But we have also now first projects where we talk about 5,000 pieces production. So yes, I'm happy to get any size of orders.
even much bigger is okay? It's cool for you? Or does that mean you have to build more factories?
In China, it's still for sure. To go big is quite easy. Our neighbor in Suining is Lear, an S&P 500 company. They hired in 2 weeks 1,000 people and got up the production in 2 weeks. It's really crazy. So, okay, I think, for example, the shopping cart for sure is something where we will make next year already 5,000 pieces, and this has potential for hundreds of thousands of pieces. We discussed it in another video, so yes, we are ready and looking forward to it.
I'm so looking forward to arrive in a supermarket and boom, it's there.
Hopefully.